Welcome to UTB Blogcast number 39. Smaller group tonight, which is kind of upsetting since it's such a big day today. But we've got Dave, Erica, and Roy from Barry IL.
Yeah. Although I'm showing off air.
You're showing off air?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're not on the Blogcast, Dave. Maybe we'll just be talking to a ghost.
It's Dave Ghost.
Actually, did we just lose Dave?
I think so. Wow, that is funny.
Wow, that is funny.
What happened in Canada?
There's just there was an attack and Canada is gone now. Canada is now the 51st state, and we haven't given them internet yet.
Wow, it's weird.
Well, I'm sure Dave will be coming back. What a way to start. Okay, big day today. We had our earnings call. We've seen a lot of reactions to it on both sides, and of course we have our own opinions as to it, and I'm not even entirely sure what everyone else's opinion here is. But before we get started, I see Dave coming back. Good. But before we get started, we opened up an email address this last week. We've had a few people commenting during the blogcast, and we thought it was great, and we wanted more interaction from people. So we opened up an email address where people could drop off questions or comments or insults or make fun of Brad's hair, you know, whatever they want to do. And because I have a feeling we're going to go pretty long tonight, we just picked a couple of the, we picked a few that we want to answer. Basically picked some that we think we can answer.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Well, welcome, Dave.
The question.
Those the one we want to answer.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I guess I'll just read them off, and we don't want to sit here and bore everybody, so we'll try and zip through them as fast as we can. So first up from Fish Love, one of our forum members, can the priv be encrypted like a BlackBerry 10 device, where you can encrypt the device and the SD? Dave?
Oh, can the priv be encrypted?
The device and SD,
well,
you know how we do.
As a matter of fact, that is a yes and a no answer. If you go and look in the settings of a priv, and then into the security section, you'll see that there is a section for encryption, and under that section is a thing called a device, and it already states that it is encrypted, and you can't even toggle that. So push it, you know, you can't change that. It comes out of the box encrypted. Have a nice day. Also, on other Android devices, and this is where things can get interesting because different handset manufacturers
Uh-oh. Dave just turned into Iceman.
Yeah, he just freeze. What happened to him?
Oh, Dave. Dave's got to cause problems for us, doesn't he? There we
the
go.
SD card
You're
today
back,
cannot be encrypted. Your network is experiencing difficulties. Lovely. So no, SD card today, there is no encryption on there, and I'm thinking that maybe that will come perhaps in Marshmallow, not too sure. But SD not right now, although there might be some capabilities in third-party apps, but in the stock OS 511 on the priv, the answer is no, not today. And that's been a problem for some people who have encrypted Exchange accounts, and you just get a third-party email client, and that takes care of that. And now I'm going to shut up.
Next up, let's go to Roy with a question from Noel. He said he's had his BlackBerry Passport, which is his 5th BlackBerry. Good going, Noel.
Yeah.
But he's had it for just over 1 year now, and recently the forward-facing camera won't focus, and sometimes a locked icon appears. I've tried everything and can't seem to unlock it. What advice on how to unlock, as I used to use it on a daily basis when cycling to work for some good shots? First of all, I don't understand why anybody would cycle to work, but Roy, can you fix his camera?
It's in a BlackBerry Passport.
Yeah.
I think he should install his OS. It's a software problem.
Yeah.
There is nothing
It's
you can
definitely
do
a
on a
software
camera, on a BlackBerry 10 device, besides to install the OS again. Maybe there are files from the last update that go wrong or something. So reinstall.
That's what I was wondering. Could he just install like the
camera files?
The camera files?
He can.
In Sachesi, yeah.
You need to be advanced user to do that.
True, but it might be a little easier than just, wiping the device and, well, I'm not so much easier, just wipe and reload.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it. Let's see, Erica from Jeffrey, who just discovered our blogcast. I wasn't going to read this part, but he says, "Hey, I only just discovered your blogcast and I love it. I've watched it for the last 4 weeks and will watch it every week from now on." We also have a back catalog. You should go back and watch how horrible we were each week before. But he says, "Yesterday I saw the Verizon has replaced the Z30 with the Priv, and shopblackberry.com does not show the Z30 as being for sale. I fear that this beloved phone is gone for good. Would you please discuss what this means and that this very popular phone is allowed to vanish without a replacement? I just ordered a Leap to go with my Classic, and I spent hours comparing BlackBerry phones and thought it strange that when I was ready to place the order, the Z30 was not there anymore."
Hi, Jeffrey. Thanks for watching. I'm glad that you enjoy us as much as you can. And only go back and watch if you're a masochist, because it's not pretty. But as far as the Z30 goes, they are no longer being produced. And since Verizon is a CDMA network, it is very hard to find anything not even available through Amazon. They have been replaced by the Priv through Verizon specifically. And of course, there's also the Leap that is still being produced that is a full screen. So Z30, no, but there are still other options out there for you.
I'm kind of concerned about him buying a Leap because I do not recall them producing a CDMA Leap.
I don't think they do, but I'm trusting that if he knows what he's getting and that he has maybe a second network available to him, maybe it's a work phone on a different network.
Yeah, the thing to remember about the Z30 is, I mean, as much of a beloved phone as it is, as we're seeing in our Pick Your Berry poll, it's fairly old now, and I mean, when you're speaking about carriers don't keep older phones around. They're getting the newest and shiniest and the most Samsungiest and iPhoneiest phones that they can get. So for them to continue carrying the BlackBerry Z30 this far into it, that would be pretty unheard of from an American carrier.
Yeah, agreed. And I just had to double check, but it came out in October 2013, I think. So it's good 2.5 years old, which as awesome as the Z30 is, and I could use it as a daily driver today, no sweat. It's it's ancient in handset tech years, kind of thing.
That being said, if you can find one on eBay, Craigslist, Amazon, whatever, it's a great phone. If you can make it past that Jay Leno chin, it is a great phone.
I'd take Jay Leno's chin if I could have all his cards.
Yeah. If I had one, I'd just call it the Drew Barrymore chin, so I could be more happy about it.
All right.
Let's see. Okay, so questions over. Let's move on to the most important news of the day, which is the earnings call. Been seeing a lot of comments back and forth on this all day. I think Roy has a pretty good handle on what's happened. I'll be honest. I was so buried all day. I haven't been able to listen to it yet. I've just been basically looking at the highlights.
Okay, so it's me now.
Roy, do you want to tell us about the earnings call?
Okay.
Yeah.
I will start with my own feelings. I have really mixed feelings about these earning calls. Very good software numbers, 106% up from quarter over a year. They reached the $500 million for software revenue. This is great. And Chen stated that for the next year, FY 2017, he wants to show a 30% up from this year. So I think in a couple of years, 3-4 years, we will see software for 1 billion. That's from what I know. Cash investments balance of $2.62 billion. Chen stated that just from the last quarter they finished the acquisition of good technology, Watchdogs. So some of the money is burned on these acquisitions. 600,000 devices sold, or to be more accurate, barely 600,000 devices. The ASP was $370, and Chen stated that if those numbers are keeping up, BlackBerry will need 3 million devices per year, down from the last 5 million devices per year. So it's now 750,000 devices per quarter that BlackBerry needs. It's reachable, as the Chen stated that BlackBerry is going to reach break-even in the hardware division. It's good news. It will be the only cause that they will keep this division alive. And he talked about enterprise. He talked about the new radar asset of the IoT. And from what I see in these earnings calls, that BlackBerry is standing in the same place like last quarter or 2 quarters before. We will need to see what the next quarter will bring. If it will not bring a device sales number that is more than 700,000, it will be not good for us, the consumers, fans. Any question?
Yeah, I just sort of want to touch on the hardware thing because I think that really resonates with people, if I could use that word, because some people are resonating at the incorrect frequency, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
I know a couple of them.
Yeah, that's right. And it was more than once when you cruise through the transcript, which is decidedly short, but fairly sweet. and he says in a few locations that there's some positive activity in the hardware business. He says flat out, we're going to get towards a profitable device business. And he also, and you could call this an excuse if you want to, but it's more of a fact in my mind. The PRIV is in 34 countries now, and some of the contract negotiations took longer than they wanted. And
like Verizon.
Verizon, yeah. And so there's some sales activity that can't be seen in this quarter, which will only show up next quarter. And I think, I don't know, would you lump some of Verizon in on that too? Well, that was another thing. Verizon, the launch of the PRIV, and they're saying there's 1,700 or more retail stores that the phone has access to just through them. And they're working on 6 more countries and 14 additional carriers. So, to look at the number 600,000, understanding it's lower than last quarter, and saying that the PRIV is a dud, or whatever people are saying, it's over. Well, it just isn't.
It's still not over.
No, it's not over. And we might be reaching, or maybe have reached, the bottom of what is going on, and anybody that's seen me here will know that I'm forever the optimist, but I suspect that we're going to be talking over Wayne
the number 600,000. Understanding.
Reno, listen to us when we.
Anyway,
Hey,
I can only see that this is going to go up. So I'm looking forward to the end of this.
I have one more thing to say. Chen said that the most difficult thing is distribution.
That's right.
He said that he wants to go directly to his customers, to enterprise customers, to sell them directly. It will be more easy. He said that what BlackBerry will focus in the hardware division, it will be distribution. So I think that Shop BlackBerry maybe will be open to more countries, because now it's for 6 countries or something like this. He said what you said about the negotiations, and that Verizon numbers aren't in this quarter results. He said that most of their customers really like this device. There is a positive reviews on these devices of the PRIV, and the only problem from what he saw is the price. The price is very high, and BlackBerry focused with this device on really niche segment of CEOs and chairmen or whatever, and he hinted that BlackBerry will make device that will be focused on other segments besides of this we call it elite segment or something like that, the business segment. So maybe one of the rumored device will be for consumers in a more reasonable price, and that's what will make the change. I think the PRIV, it's like the playbook in this manner. They make some prototype of Android device. They send it to the market. They see how we play, how we doing, and now they will release the Android device that they know what they need to do to sell more. So it's something like the playbook with the BB10, I think.
We also need to remember too how BlackBerry records their device sales. They, like when Apple sells a device to a carrier, the minute that carrier gets that device, it's counted as a sell. BlackBerry doesn't do that. BlackBerry doesn't count it as a sell until that PIN is registered on the network. So A lot of people are looking at these sales numbers and thinking that the carriers just haven't picked up these phones. They picked them up in ones and twos, if anything, because of the total sales, and that's not the case. It's all those PRIVs that are sitting in carrier stores right now waiting to be sold haven't been counted as sales.
Of course.
And the classics and whatnot.
Chen stated that BlackBerry will be profitable, or did I pronounce it right? We will be profitable from the first day of the FY 2017. We predict to be profitable all year. It's something new to be BlackBerry to be profitable all year. And I'm checking. 10.3.3 OS will be in mid-June. He said that there is problems or delays with the approval of the security measures of the new OS.
Yeah, I think he said that's out of BlackBerry's control. That's not the holdup.
And Marshmallow or Android 6 or whatever, late April, start the beginning of May. He also stated this. So
yeah, it's kind of disheartening from the standpoint of those that are waiting for the OS updates. We were expecting to have them by now. I think most of us were.
Yeah. But that's because we were expecting to get the certification passed, you know what I mean? And that hasn't happened, so it's
exactly
out of your freaking control. What are you going to do?
10.3.4 will be late FY 2017.
And then I just have to say, with the PRIV and Marshmallow, we just have to remember. Well, you know what? Just go look at the other carriers that have rolled out Marshmallow and look at some of the issues and not carriers, the OEMs that these phones have been having. And let's remember too that just within the last couple weeks here, we had a major vulnerability deep in the Android kernel, which is kind of odd. It's something that they knew about for a couple years. They just didn't realize that it was something that could be attacked. So I mean, I'm still of the viewpoint that I would rather have BlackBerry roll out a stable, secure software than just jumping on the bandwagon and getting Marshmallow out as fast as they could. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people that follow BlackBerry, or at least the ones that are vocal about it on channels, would rather have a half-assed Marshmallow on our PRIV right now.
Don't forget that the Marshmallow, I think it's like the penetration percent of it is like 4 or 5% from all Android devices. So
if that, yeah.
BlackBerry is not late.
Yeah, and they've been saying it's late for the last couple months now, but they're not. And I mean, if you really want to talk about late, look at the security updates. BlackBerry's pushing those out as fast as they can get them. So when people are complaining that the S7 has Marshmallow and we should have it too, I just don't. I mean, it'd be great to have it, but I don't agree. It's not. You can't compare the two. You just can't.
They're really not the standard that we need to be looking up to.
Right.
No. Okay.
Michael Clowley, I think, he just tweeted that maybe BlackBerry will release a beta version of the Marshmallow to all users, all PRIV users, before the launch. So maybe next week or 2 weeks from now, you will be able to download a beta version if you want.
Well, sign me up.
Yeah, that would be great. And honestly, how easy would that to be? How easy would it be to do with a beta program when they've already got autoloaders on their site?
Yeah, right.
You remember when we first saw the autoloaders and we were wondering if that's something that they could do with those?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Sure it is.
Heck, that could be a way to get around the carriers for carrier updates altogether. Just call it a beta so it doesn't have to go through carrier approval.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's go back and look at what Chin has done since he's taken over BlackBerry. And one of the things that he's done is he's taken them from a device business to a software business, and that is more than a survival move. I mean, it's definitely a survival move, because if they were just a hardware business at this point, there would be no more BlackBerry. You just look at the device sales over the last year, it's not enough to support the company. But then you look at what they've done in the software business, where they've truly been concentrating the most of their resources, and was it 106% growth in the fourth quarter of services and software? That is amazing. You know, and what's important is the survival and the sustainability of BlackBerry. People are, I've been seeing it all over channels today, because that's honestly the majority of the interaction I have during my real life day. And I keep seeing people talk about, oh, the bad news for BB10. What are they talking about? Like, honestly, did I miss something? Was there bad news for BB10 today?
No.
I mean, realistically, besides the update being pushed back?
He didn't talk about BB10.
Because I'm admitting I may have missed something, but the only thing I saw about BB10 was that the update's getting pushed back, and the reasons for that.
I think the lack of information on BB10 in the earnings call has caused a lot of assumptions to be made.
Yeah, I think you're right, Erica, and there's still a bunch of people who this year hope against hope, or whatever you want to call it, that surprise, they're going to announce a BB10 handset or something like that.
It will not happen.
I know, and when you imagine something, if you imagine it often enough with your imaginary friends, you imagine it to be true, and then when it doesn't happen, you have to blame somebody. And it's just not the way it is. But Brad, just to touch on what you were talking about, the growth of the software side of the business, I can't emphasize how critical that is. John Chen is absolutely right on the money, haha, as it were. Software as a service or subscription is the business model of a successful company in this day and age. Picture yourself going to a Best Buy or whatever kind of electronics store 10 years ago, and you would have seen numerous software titles on the shelf that you could pick up in a box and go over to the cash register and purchase. And those kinds of things would be, even Microsoft Suite, for Word and whatever. But those things don't exist anymore. You're downloading them, and the whole industry is moving towards subscriptions. You're going to pay monthly for something, or you sign up for a year and then you have to renew. That's the business model, and he's growing that, and he's acquiring companies that fit that model, and now that's what it is. They used to sort of have a hell of a lot of that with the SAF or SAF or system access fees or whatever for BBOS 7 and older, and those revenues obviously are going away. But those were what I'm talking about. That was a successful business model. Everybody was paying subscriber access fees, system access fees for their BlackBerry devices. BB10 came out, poof, gone. Same thing with the Priv or any other, the iPhones and the Androids of this world. You don't have those access fees. And so look at Tim Cook. He would kill to do what I think what John Chen's bringing on board here. Right. It's not about selling this. This is pretty much a commodity. It's the software and services that support this in an enterprise and even consumers that's going to make you money moving forward.
Yeah, it's subscription dollars. It's a stable money. You earn it every month. You don't have to worry if you will sell it, will not sell it.
Yeah,
something you will get every month.
Yeah, our business where I work is that absolutely now. That's exactly what we're chasing.
And I think it's important to consider that consider the types of software and businesses that he's acquiring, because they all speak to the original demographic of BlackBerry. They're all business software platforms. And I think it's important to note that he's sticking with that original mission of BlackBerry to cater to the business-minded people.
Yeah, he is, Erica. That's a really good point. And what was I going to say before? Yeah, when Chen says he thinks he's going to be profitable by the end of 17, I believe it. He's got enough experience, done enough things to completely understand the track that he's on. And if he says he can see that curve, I believe he can see it.
Don't forget that we talked about it a lot. John Chen is a software guy. He's a software engineer. If something that he know how to do is software, so I think that we will see a growth, a real growth of software revenue in the next years. It will be amazing if it will keep its targets.
I'm still looking forward to it. I don't see doom and gloom in this call, and there's, like I say, people that didn't see what they wanted to see, which nobody said they were going to see it, and and then when you're disappointed that you didn't see this imaginary thing, you act out. I don't get it.
Let's bring it back. Go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, no, the way I see it, it's a good thing having the software doing so well. Being a lot of it being subscription-based, it's an ongoing income as opposed to hardware sales. Once the device is sold, that's it. You've got to then work on the next device and keep producing and selling more. Whereas the software side of it is going to keep growing, and it's an ongoing income for them.
Yeah, that's right. And when you sell a device, traditionally through a carrier, the only person that's getting recurring revenue is the carrier at $20 or $30 or whatever dollars a month to pay the device off. The manufacturer of the device isn't getting any recurring revenue off of that. It's not in this day and age, because the things that we care about that are on these boxes, these computers that we carry around, the things we care about are the software and the services that we need. That's the business. That's where you want to make your money.
You know what? That's the business, and that's where BlackBerry's going to make the money. But we are BlackBerry fans, and I don't think many of us are fans because of Bez. We're fans because of our phones, and that is what truly, that's what's important to us. If BlackBerry was just a services company, we would have never started up doing what we do. But here's the thing, that with the information that we got today, combined with what we know formerly and just different things throughout the time, I feel good about it. There's all these people. I keep seeing this all over channels. We even have people on our own channel coming in, which I want to talk about that later, giving the whole BlackBerry 10 is dead, BlackBerry phones are dead, I'm going to go out and buy, indistinguishable slab number XXX and get rid of my BlackBerry. Nothing happened today that would make somebody think that, and that's kind of why I put on our blurb for the blogcast is what is BlackBerry and why are so many people wrong. BlackBerry's not a device manufacturer company anymore. They're a software company that wants to build devices. We all know different people. You know, we all know people that work there, and they're all fans of BlackBerry. You know, they're all fans of those devices. They use those phones. They don't want to use an iPhone or a Samsung. You know, it truly is a matter of love for them. And when you look at John Chen, he makes it a point to be a winner. He is going to win. He is going to make BlackBerry a profitable company. We know that, and he's kind of given us a time frame for that today. He's also not going to be the guy that makes BlackBerry no longer make phones. You know what I mean? He will be successful with phones someday. Is it today? I don't think so. You know, today the point is to be profitable on them. But is he going to be iPhone? No. Is he going to make phones for the masses? No. Let Tim Cook do that. You know, he's making phones for us and for the enterprise and for people that need security or just want a phone that can actually do everything we want it to do.
I got a new nickname for John Chen. It's going to be John Old Chimp, because he's going to make BlackBerry great again. Oh, somebody shoot me.
If we could.
Okay.
But I want to hear other people speak. But I mean, that's honestly, we even have spent so much time comparing our BlackBerries to iPhones, comparing them to Samsungs, hoping that we would get those massive numbers of cells to where we could beat them. And I don't think that's something that we should be headed towards anymore. You know, that's not something that we should be focusing on. The BlackBerry, like we talked about this earlier in our BBM group, the BlackBerry is not a phone for the masses. It is a phone for a niche group of people that I want to think of as an elite group of people. You know, it's like we're not a bunch of people that are crushing candy all day and posting our lunches on whatever social media of the week is popular. But I mean, I feel kind of odd saying it, but you go back to Thor and the type of person that he was focusing on, that prosumer, and that kind of became a joke. It really did, and it kind of became a hot button of this is what was wrong with Thorsten's BlackBerry. And I'm sorry, it felt kind of good to be a prosumer, you know? And I think that every one of us, what's that?
We are still prosumers.
We are prosumers.
Thor didn't know how to execute like Chen.
Right. And I guarantee you, each one of us push our device harder every single day than, you know, Grandma that's sitting next to us on the bus on her iPhone 6.
And we get more out of them.
Right.
See what happened to Microsoft. They are a software company. They tried to make a smartphone to the masses, and where is Windows 10 now? Windows 10 Mobile. So Chen don't want to be like Microsoft. Maybe in the software division he wants to be like Microsoft, but he will not do the wrong thing they did with with the smartphones they make.
Look at the, people want to talk about the low sales, but look at the impact BlackBerry's making on the rest of the market. How many phone companies are trying to come out with physical keyboard attachments? That new phone that has the slide out bottom with the removable battery and all the different attachments you can do to it. One of the upcoming, they put up like a vote, what do you want to see? And one of those things was a physical keyboard attachment. We saw that hot mess that Samsung attached to their Galaxy.
That's got to be one of the biggest fails on the planet.
But I mean, it's a small niche product that is making a huge impact on the industry. And we need to stop comparing the BlackBerries to the iPhones and the Galaxies. They don't compare. Those are phones for, again, the masses, and they're not specialized. BlackBerries are specialized. What we should be comparing them to is the Black phone, which is a specialized phone that is not a success and which BlackBerry sells more than. Or let's look at these new platforms that people are so excited about, like that Turing phone that's going to be using the Selfish. People are excited about that. They're jumping up and down. This is going to be great. Do you think they're going to sell as many phones as BlackBerry did this quarter? No, they're not. And that will be a success for them.
Yeah, others have gone by the wayside. Firefox threw in the towel. Who else is out there? Tizen. They actually started to get some traction, although in what country and where I don't know, because it doesn't exist around here.
No, it was in India with like a $80 phone.
Right.
So I mean, they gain traction and they gain market share by giving away a phone, basically.
Yeah, Samsung used Tizen for the Android Wear, the smartwatches.
Mm-hmm.
Not big success, if I know.
I think it's interesting that BlackBerry has almost come full circle because they started out as the niche smartphone. They were the first smartphone, and they were kind of something different for people that wanted more. And they're right back where they are now, where they were then. They're something different for people that want more. And I think, like Brad was saying, it's important to realize that it's not a comparable device to a Samsung or an iPhone. It's better, and it may not sell as much, but that's because people just don't get it.
They just don't get it.
That's the best explanation I can give to, because anytime I try to show off my BlackBerry to people, just show them what they do, they just kind of turn back to their Samsung or turn back to their iPhone, and they're not interested.
Let's have a moment of silence for all those people that just don't get it. Oh man.
I think a lot of it's ignorance too. They don't want to know. And
no, because you're right, Wayno. Well, it kind of speaks to the idea, which is unfortunate in some ways, that the device that you choose for some idiot reason, this only applies to cell phones, the device that you choose says something about you. What does it say about you? You know, so it's like an accessory or a fashion statement or some. I don't know how the cell phone got itself into this position. I don't know, because there's millions of people driving Toyota Corollas, and there's millions of people driving, you know, so-and-so car that is nondescript, that does its job, that goes from here to there and whatever. And not very many people look at that as a fashion statement necessarily. Yeah, we all want a car that looks cool and is cool or whatever, but, you know, why is it not as important when you buy a car when it's so important when you get a cell phone?
I'll answer that. I'll answer that is, and this goes back to arguments that we used to have in that orange-tinted place, Dave, when someone would come along and and holler at us about our choice of a phone, and then when we responded and they ran out of things that they could say, and they would, you know the actual response, oh, it's just a piece of glass and plastic, it shouldn't even matter, after they spent 2 days trolling us for wanting to talk about our phone in a place that was made for us to talk about our phone. But the fact of the matter is, some of us are fans of our devices. Some people want to run out and get, a fancy car. Some people want to jump up and down for their football team. But you know what? When you go somewhere, you go to a function, your car's sitting in a parking lot outside. When it's not football season, nobody cares about what football team you want or you're a fan of. There's certain things like that. I understand why people are fans of that. I totally get it. And I how many times have you seen a Ford drive by with Calvin pissing on a Chevy logo? It happens. But my BlackBerry is always at my side. It doesn't sit in a parking lot. It doesn't go off season. There's one thing I grab that's the first thing I grab in the morning, and it's the last thing I put down at night.
We don't want to hear about
That's
that. We want to talk about phones.
Well, I'm not talking about Spanky. I'm talking about my phone.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, my phone is more important than what car I'm driving. It's more important than what sports team I follow. It just is, because it's always there at my side, and I use it. And I don't use it to play games all day. I use it for me, I literally use it in every aspect of my life. It's, it's my note-taking machine. It's my calendar. I don't know anybody's phone numbers anymore.
No, I know. You're right. It was baited. The question was baited or whatever. I mean, I get it. Almost anybody, I don't care what you're using, if you lost it, my God, chop my arm off first, please. If I lost my cell phone, I'd be running out to go get another one right away, and thank God all my contacts and emails and calendar is in the cloud on Office 365, and I'd be right back again in an hour. But it's true. You lose that mobile communications device, and you're not a human being anymore. That's what we've become. We're lost. It's amazing.
And at the end of the day, something that is so important to me, I want it to be able to do what I want it to do without being tethered to a wall socket, or without having to use it as an email reader until I can get back to my laptop.
No, yeah.
And that's where BlackBerry takes control. BlackBerry 10 can do all that stuff. Is there a native Facebook app now? Not really, but it's got a damn good browser that works.
Yeah.
And I can actually respond to emails, and I can have phone calls that don't drop, and I can freely do my online banking without worrying about, Ivan from Russia getting all my information.
That Ivan, I'll get you.
I wasn't talking about you, Ivan. I was talking about the Russian Ivan, by the way.
And you could go into that really noisy server room with all the millions of fans and still carry on a conversation. My God. What an awesome machine.
I'm saying it. And you know what? Let the trolls be angry about it, because they were at that orange-tinted place when Thorsten started talking about the prosumers. But the BlackBerry, whether it be a BlackBerry 10 or a Priv, is an elite device. They are not marketing for Sandy the 9-year-old and Gertrude the 90-year-old and what's his name, Kip, the hipster over at the Starbucks. They're marketing for a specific group of people.
Damn you, Kip!
Unless Kip is the CEO of a startup.
Then he needs to shave his beard before I kick him in the nuts.
He might be next week's new startup boy. You never know. Or something. Nice rant there. Brad.
Yeah, sorry, but I want to get that point across. That's the thing. We BlackBerry users who are still BlackBerry users who aren't going to be swayed by people that are scared. We need
I
to
think
see us for what we are.
I think we should salute you in the time you are talking.
Yeah, that's right. And just so that you know, no way I'm swayed. I'm much more of a leather guy.
We
What?
didn't need to hear that.
Put that one in the file, Dave. Put that one in the file.
The round one. Yeah. How can you tell it's
Since
been a
I'm
day?
already ranting, let me go on a little bit of a bigger rant that kind of goes back to what we were saying. I've
There's
noticed a
bigger
few
one?
things.
Shit.
Yeah, there is a much bigger one that I want to try and get out without turning red and voice raising and the last of my hair falling out.
Too late.
But I've had a jerk. I've had my crib for a while now, and I've actually taken to carrying it out more often than my BlackBerry than my passport,
Ooh, slip
because
of the tongue.
yeah,
that was Freudian, dude.
that was so Freudian. Yeah, my real BlackBerry, but no, because people can see my priv and they can go down to the carrier store and buy a priv. If they see my passport, they can't go down to the carrier store and buy the passport. So for me, where I live right here, I think it's more important to show the priv off. And what I've had 3 people, 2 with the new Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, Joe Bob, whatever it is,
Galaxy
and
is shit.
one iPhone user. All of them look at my phone and get that look. You know, what did Bigley call it before? That BlackBerry stare. And they're like, is that the priv? They knew exactly what the priv was.
That's funny,
It's
isn't
like,
it?
yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's the priv. And they're like, how do you like it? You know, it was almost like the same thing with all 3 people. They want to know how I liked it, how it worked, did I have any problems with it, would I suggest it? Because all 3 of these people looked at it at the carrier and played with it and was told it was a better option to get the 2 Samsungs and the 1 iPhone.
It's an Android. What's the difference?
And here's what I think the difference is, because we can talk about the spiffs they get from Samsung. We could talk about the fact that people are brainwashed to Apple, but
Or you could talk about the horrible contract that some guy signed, that he has to sell X number of iPhones per month, or he's screwed at the end of the contract. Yeah, you don't want to go there, man. Anyway,
we could
carry
talk
on.
about that too. But what I see is the biggest issue right now is people like me that go shopping for things before they buy a gadget. You know, I spend a lot of time in Best Buy playing with gadgets. I spend a lot of time looking at stuff, and I always end up doing the same thing and buying entirely too many sets of Bluetooth headsets.
Yeah.
But I will do the same thing all the time. I'll scan the little barcode, because they've got the little QR code on everything, and I scan it with my BlackBerry, and it takes me to a website, and then I start searching for things, and I want to see what people are saying about it. Now, go do that with BlackBerry today. You'll see a couple of sites talking about how BlackBerry is seeing an improvement in software. You'll see a lot of sites talking about how they missed their hardware. You'll see a lot of sites talking about how BlackBerry may leave the hardware. You will see a lot of BlackBerry fans shouting that it was bad news about BlackBerry 10 today, and that BlackBerry 10 is dead. And here's where my rant comes in. I'm not going to allow that on our site. We're a BlackBerry fan site. We're here to promote BlackBerry. We're here to push the agenda of BlackBerry, which I think BlackBerry, and under the helm of John Chen, has given us a future that we may not have had. I'm totally comfortable with the fact that my next phone will be a BlackBerry, and it won't be a BlackBerry that's on the market right now. We will have more, and I have no fear in that matter. But I've seen today on our comments on our channel, people popping in, giving the whole BlackBerry 10 is dead, I'm buying this phone, I'm buying that phone. You know, if you want to come in and ask questions, if you want to come in and converse about it, if you want to come in and talk about your worries, that's fine. That's exactly what we're here for, and that's what we want. But if you want to come in and shout to fans that they better get off a BlackBerry 10, your message is going to be deleted, because we're not going to allow that agenda to be promoted at UTB.
Should I be deleting those?
Yeah. But I wanted to give an explanation.
Way to go, Wayno.
And I wanted to leave them there in case people were watching us live and wanted to go look and see what I was talking about. Because there's a difference between having worries and having discussions, and I understand people that are worried. I even understand people that are trying to decide what they're going to do next because perhaps the new BlackBerry is going to be too far off in the distance. I get that. That's what sites like ours are for. Sites like ours are not for people to run in and try and convince BlackBerry fans that are at a BlackBerry fan site that they should leave BlackBerry.
You have BGR to
it's-
do that.
We're not going to have that.
Yeah, it's the Chicken Little syndrome, or like I've said before, you know, there's a particular kind of person that absolutely loves to sneeze in the camera, and then there's also a particular kind of person that loves to jump up and down at the incorrect frequency, grab the pitchfork and the what did I call it? Not the torch, because that was bad. The flaming stick, I think. And
Hey, the torch was a great phone, Dave. It was great.
I know. I had one, or I had two, or something like that. And they want to get as many people as possible jumping up and down at the same incorrect frequency and grabbing another pitchfork. And those are the kind of people that are dangerous. You know, is there free speech in this country's? Yes, there's 4 countries represented here. You know, sure, there's free speech, but you know, it's also the kind of situation where all you have to do is allow something to keep happening, and then it's just floodgates. So please come and enjoy everything we say and everything we do, and allow yourself to be involved with it and have intelligent conversations, because that's what we want to see. But spewing venom, no. And Wayno, did I make you cry there, or what?
No, I did mute that. You didn't want to hear that.
Every week, you know, you got something we don't want to hear. So, but thanks for the mute.
Yeah, well,
you know.
I try and mute that too, but for some reason it doesn't work. You always catch me out.
Yeah, it's all good, buddy.
Erica gave a great rant in group today. I should go back and find that and read that. For people that think that Erica doesn't talk much on here, she made up for it today.
Every once in a while the redhead comes out and I just can't keep my mouth shut.
Well, without using all the expletives that you threw in there and burned my eyes, and I've never seen such language before.
I was going to say there's ladies present, but that was the source. Yeah, that was the source. What the?
I did not know Erica was a career Marine. I just didn't know that until today.
She's a lady no more.
I get really angry, and this is basically where I started with my rant portion of my conversation. But I get really angry with people that say they're fanboys and pretend to be loyal, and then as soon as they don't get their way, they start bitching and moaning and saying that BlackBerry isn't doing what they said they were going to do. BlackBerry isn't going to survive, and I went off. And that I honestly don't even, I think I blacked out. I don't remember what all I said.
You know, it's the kind of thing that I find highly entertaining because it's far enough away that I can ignore it. But you get to look in on that and go, whoa, yeah.
Yeah, so Erica lost it a little bit because
That's cool.
there was somebody that was spewing that kind of negativity, and I wasn't going to listen to it. And every time somebody came back to this person with facts, that person just kept spewing more negativity, and I was done with it. I was just done. And I don't know if I effectively shut him off or if he just decided that I wasn't worth his time, but I didn't care because he shut up.
Wait, no, I heard that.
I'm just checking back to make sure that wasn't me.
Wayno's searching for the good stuff. Where's that?
Where's the evidence? Who is she having a go at? Did I say something?
Well, wait, no, I heard that you guys were discussing marketing.
Yeah, that's probably a bit of a sore point at the moment. It did come up in our Aussie group that a lot of the people feel that BlackBerry aren't marketing the product enough. Probably more so in Australia. Some are blaming carriers, others are blaming BlackBerry. I think it's kind of a bit of both. I'd sure like to see more marketing. I know the budget isn't there for that. But my thoughts, and this is my opinion only, it probably will be shot down at some time, but I would like to see, I know that resources are limited in Australia as far as marketing and things like that. I'm not asking for TV ads, newspaper ads. At the moment, we only have the Priv available through Optus. I would like to see devices on display in stores. At the moment, it's only available online, and a lot of people are reluctant to go and spend or sign up for a device that's over the $1,000 mark without getting their hands on it, without trying it, without seeing what it's actually like. And I'm kind of pushing for to get the device not in all stores, but maybe in 3 or 4 major stores in the bigger cities around Australia, so that people can go and see the device, maybe not at their local store, but in Australia, say in Sydney, there's 4 or 5 major shopping centres with Optus stores and major Optus stores in those shopping centres, and I think it'd be great just to rather than BlackBerry supplying hundreds of devices, 1 or 2 for every store in Australia. I think you've got to start somewhere, and just having them. Sorry, Roy, am I boring you, mate?
It's 7 a.m. here. Keep going.
I'd just like to see devices in some stores, so that people, if they're that keen on the device, they can go and have a play with it before they sign up and commit. I think that's probably a good starting point of where we need to be out here anyway.
Well, you're where Erica and I were a year ago when you couldn't find a BlackBerry device in an American carrier. And that's not BlackBerry. That's your carrier. That's entirely your carrier choosing not to put it within the stores. If if your carrier wished to buy enough BlackBerries to put them in the store, it's not like John Shen's going to sit there and go, no, I'm not going to sell them to you. So that's something.
But in speaking to someone in our group who is with a carrier, they're saying that BlackBerry need to come to the party as far as display devices. The other manufacturers are doing that. Oppo or OnePlus are supplying demo devices. They're basically saying that BlackBerry need to get behind the product and supply display devices. So it's
that. Wayno, they're wrong. They're entirely wrong. When the carrier goes to purchase the devices from a manufacturer, they're telling them what they're going to order for. You remember what you guys went through to get Optus to carry those BlackBerries, and you guys put in a lot of hard work. You guys put in a lot of hard work to get them, and from an outsider looking in, it looks like your carrier decided to honor you guys and offer something that you guys wanted. If they wanted to push that device, if they wanted that to be a major device, they would have purchased more devices and they would have got display devices. When they decided to order, you had an idea as to how many they were ordering? I believe you did at one point.
Yep.
That's not enough devices to put in their stores. That's not.
No, look, I agree. I'm not laying the blame. I'm only sort of giving feedback as to what's actually being said from a carrier's perspective. I also believe that if the carrier's going to stock a device and sell a device, they should be pushing the device.
Me too.
Yep.
So, at the end of the day, the carrier is the one making the money with the contracts and everything else down the track. I believe that, the carrier is to blame as well. Look, I'm not laying blame with anyone in particular, but it would certainly help to have those devices out in the stores where people can play with them. And I think the biggest thing in Australia that I'm finding is people just aren't aware that BlackBerry is still making devices. They're not aware. Unless you're a BlackBerry fan and you follow BlackBerry, you follow the sites, and you're talking to other BlackBerry people, unless you're one of those people, you don't know. There's so many people where I go now, minding my own business, I pull out my phone and people will look at it, especially with the passport because it's so different. They look at it and, what the hell is that? Oh, this is a BlackBerry. Oh, do they still make phones? And this, you get sick of hearing it. That's the big thing, especially I'm finding in Australia, is people just aren't aware that BlackBerry are still making devices, let alone making quality devices that will leave the other devices for dead.
Yeah,
I
hear you.
And that's really frustrating. I mean, they really need to have the devices out in stores. And look, it doesn't. You got to start somewhere. I'm not saying it should be out in every store. It would certainly help, but that's not going to happen, especially with the market share that's out there at the moment. But at least get it in major stores, in major carrier business centres, that people can, if they're that interested in the phone, they can go and have a look and have a play with it.
Yeah. I'll be extremely complimentary to your carrier, the Optus. They did something that my carrier would have never thought to have done, which is carry a phone that their customers wanted.
Yeah,
exactly. They listened to their customers. My carrier basically gave a big giant FU to us when we were trying to get the devices that we wanted. So that's awesome that they did. But
look,
they're not
credit to
Optus,
but it did
they're
take
not pushing that phone.
It did take a lot.
They got.
Sorry, mate.
It took a lot, and they did it. So they got the phones for the people that wanted them. But there's no intention to make that a big seller for them. There's just not. If they don't have it on display, they're offering it online. They're doing it as a service to you guys, not as a money maker for them.
And that's where it's disappointing. You know, if you've got the phone, push it. Push it, you know.
I agree.
They even put out catalogs, you know. Telstra do it, Vodafone do it, Optus do it. Usually once a month or, you know, every couple of months they'll put out a catalogue with all their phones on it. You know, put it in there. The latest Optus catalogue that came out, there was no mention of the Priv. And you'll only find it if you're going on the website specifically looking for it. It's not highlighted anywhere. It's not. This is what I'm calling, you know, the marketing issue in Australia. It's just not being pushed.
Well, that issue is your carrier.
Yeah,
I'll be 100% honest with you.
Absolutely.
And I mean, honest. BlackBerry doesn't have the money to market like Samsung and like iPhone or Apple. They don't. They've done better marketing this time with the Priv than they have ever done before. Was it enough? No. But at the same time, I don't believe BlackBerry has, you know, they've got, what, $3 billion in cash. They don't have enough to market enough to compete with Apple and Samsung and those guys. They just don't. But what you're talking about, like your carrier catalogs, your carrier having it on display, that has absolutely nothing to do with BlackBerry.
No, I agree. That comes down to the carrier.
It does.
It comes down to the carrier.
Just to interject here, we sell telephones retail. They're not cell phones. They're the desk phones that you go and see in your business and use in your business. And of the 4 manufacturers that we represent, you know, for argument's sake, that could be Apple, BlackBerry, Windows Phone, and some kind of Android device, you know, say Samsung or whatever. We have to purchase the equipment that we want to demo. We have to buy that. We are the value-added reseller, or, you know, a carrier or whatever, and we have to purchase the equipment that we want to demo for our prospective and existing customers. If we thought that we needed triple the amount of demo equipment in order to satisfy the desires of our supposed, you know, demographic, or for this particular device or systems, then we would have more demo equipment or whatever. So the responsibility is, without question, not. It's not like the manufacturer is divorced from this part of the conversation. That's not it. But we're the ones that are trying to sell to our customer base, and so it's our commitment level. Our commitment level is what we use to understand how much demo equipment we need to make available for our customer base. Now, we're a tiny little thing compared to a carrier, but sort of the way the model is. You're selling equipment from a manufacturer, and you're the value-added reseller or the carrier. You need to, you know, yeah, it's easier if it is the Samsungs and the Apples of this planet. It's easier because those guys are just doing their advertising on the TV for you. You don't have to do that yourself. I get it. And BlackBerry's, you know, when did that last happen? The Super Bowl thing in 2013. But, you know, by the same token, and maybe it's kind of dropped off a little bit lately, or maybe I'm just looking at different things, I don't know. But online advertising, BlackBerry's done amazing in 2015, as far as I'm concerned, in late 2014, with guerrilla advertising on the YouTubes and the other social media, you know, the stuff that follows you around kind of thing. And they've done amazingly well, and they've had to do that way. And to be perfectly honest with you, that is the most explosive growth rate of advertising on planet Earth. is through social media. So if I'm flicking on the TV and I don't see it, but I see it all over social media and on my computer, good job.
And that's where we fans can make the biggest difference, either which way. If we're out there on social media and we're out there in forums and sites talking about how we believe in BlackBerry and we're promoting BlackBerry, that's going to have a huge impact and the positive for BlackBerry. If we're out there claiming that BlackBerry is dead and don't get a device, well, if that happens someday, own that. You did it. That's what I mean. We're prosumers. I'm happy to say that, and we're producers and we're creators. And I would love to see some BlackBerry fans. Let's do our own grassroots campaign. You know, let's grow it ourselves. We're so close to break even because that's really all we need. You know, it really is. That's not BlackBerry's business.
As a start. Yeah.
It's a start, but that's not BlackBerry's business. Their business is software. They are building phones because they want to build phones. And all we need it to do is
they're building
not
phones
lose to company money.
Yeah, they're building phones to round out and have a 360-degree circumference around the whole security thing.
Part of the package.
Yeah, if you can make the hardware that goes along with your software and make it all secure, then you're the winner.
Yeah, I think the hardware is definitely integral to BlackBerry's future software developments. Let's say that. But I mean, right now we just need them to not lose money. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, and that's coming. I believe it. I believe what Chen is doing and what he's saying he's gonna do. I get it. And it might take an extra 6 months. I don't care. I think it's coming. So.
And also, just to throw in, because I haven't talked enough tonight, obviously, but you notice Chen has always said, he's always given that thing. There may be a point when we need to leave if we're not making money. He's never given a time frame for that. And I've always said that he hasn't given a time frame because he doesn't want to stop. You know, that's basically a blanket answer to make the shareholders happy that, okay, I'll look at it when I need to look at it. So today he gave it that time frame. He said September, right? He also said that they will be profitable by then. So I think we're in for some good things, because I don't think he would have said that if he had any thought in his mind that they wouldn't make it by September.
No, if I believe what he's saying, and he gave 2 or 3 indications today in the call that they're on track, and I think it's close enough that he, like I said before, he can see the curve, and he's not a stupid guy, and if he can see that curve and he feels confident that he can state something like that, then I believe it.
I'm going to shut up now. Anybody have anything else they want to say?
I don't know.
Yeah, you pretty much talked enough.
All right, well then let's get out of here, because I'm hungry.
Yeah, and I need to sleep.
No, you need breakfast. You need breakfast, and I need dinner.
Dinner for us, breakfast for Roy. Who knows what the Aussie's doing?
Afternoon tea.
That doesn't
You
look
guys
like
need tea over there too?
He doesn't
No,
need tea.
afternoon.
Look, it's a beer bottle.
No.
Oh, it's lunch.
Tea. No, it's a bit late for lunch, a bit early for dinner.
All right,
Something
then.
tells me Wayno's afternoon tea consists of 12 ounces of alcoholic fluid.
Yes.
There
It's
it
already
is.
there.
All right.
And the barbecue
Good night,
to follow.
guys and Erica.
Bye.
See ya.
See you later,
Yeah,
dudes.